Welcome back, guys, for another rally bike build. Today I'm here with an Husqvarna FE 450 2018 model. This bike is of a friend of mine. He didn't use it much, and so we decided to rebuild it and put it up for sale as it has only 41 hours. But today I'm gonna guide you through all the modifications we made, all the installations we made, and this bike is ready to race. This bike can compete in any World Championship rally and any international rally around the world. Starting from the front end of the bike, the most visible modification is the front fairing from Rebel Exports and the nav tower. One cool touch for 2020 is that Rebel Exports is playing a bit with the colors of the headlight mask, and I think the white looks really awesome on the Husqvarna. The forks and wheels have been changed on this bike. We have the 2020 FE model forks, as my friend bought the new model, and so he transported his WP factory forks on his bike. So here all the suspensions are brand new. Moving on, we have a 17-liter fuel tank painted in white. This fuel tank gives you a capacity of at least 200 kilometers, but even more. You can almost reach 250 kilometers only with this tank. Looking at the handlebars, we have rally replica closed handguards, fully in plastic, so in case we crash, we won't damage the levers. The levers are CNC machined and anodized in blue. Same for the clutch and front brake caps. They're CNC machined and they have also the Husqvarna logo. Very comfortable are the hand grips. We changed them with the foam rally hand grips. These, especially if you go in the desert or you go in Morocco on long rides, they make riding more comfortable as you perceive less the vibration on the bike. We also changed the front brake line and also the rear brake line. Just wanted to give it a little cool touch and put a blue brake line. To add comfort, we also changed the seat cover. We placed again a factory rally seat cover by Selle della Valle. It has the same features as the 790 seat, so we have a special quick dry suede, which makes riding more comfortable because it's a softer textile. And we have always the camels, the bumps, with underneath a layer of foam, so when we want to ride on the liaison on the transfer section, we will be able to sit on the back of the bike and have more comfort. The foam on those Husqvarna FE models, like the KTM EXC, is pretty thin. There's not a lot of material, so sometimes it can feel a bit rigid, but with this Selle della Valle seat, it will be more comfortable and you'll have added grip. Looking at the second fuel tank we placed on this bike, we have a 5-liter fuel tank painted in white, and this is a plug-and-play tank, so it connects to the front with no extra fuel pump and no extra vacuum pump. It's just a hose that connects direct here to the front tank. So easy to remove, especially if we are racing and maybe we don't need all the autonomy we need here, as this gets you about 300 kilometers autonomy, the combination of the two tanks. We can still access the air filter by removing the plastic as we slightly cut the side panel in order to fit the tank. We also changed the foot pegs. We put these CNC machined foot pegs that have a larger footprint than the OEM ones. We added a plastic ignition cover and some other CNC machine anodized components. We placed swing arm plastic covers. We have here a really nice rally bash plate made in carbon with almost 3 liters of water reserve. So this, you know, it's compulsory for all international rallies, World Championship rallies, and Dakar and Africa race. To access the water and pour water in, we'll just remove this cap. We have one on each side, so the weight is well balanced. It adds a nice protection to the whole engine body and is easily removable just by removing these two front bolts. Moving on the other side of the bike, we can see this water pump that has a CNC machine cover, and also the water pump inside has been changed, and the Rekluse clutch cover, because we placed the whole Rekluse clutch assembly. It's not the automatic one, but it's the reinforced one for rallies. The cool thing is that with the Rekluse clutch cover, we have here a tap we can remove and pour oil inside here when we change our engine oil. Furthermore, it gives us slightly more capacity and a slightly better cooling to our engine. The rear brake, we've added an extension to the pump, so here we have more oil capacity. This will prevent us from having the brake going too hot too quickly. And since this is an issue on KTM and Husqvarna bikes, the rear brake, you know, when it's summer and it's really hot and you use it a lot, you end up, you know, cooking your brake. So we also added a dissipator here on the near the brake disc to help the cooling of the whole brake. You can see the whole bike, we made a custom sticker kit, which makes the bike look like a factory bike. But now let's move on the hot part of this build, the whole instrumentation on the navigation tower. This is the section that gives the most headaches to riders. It's the whole navigation system and the wiring. Let's start on the handlebar. We have here an RNS CNC machined multi-switch. This switch let us command both the trip master and the roadbook holder all in one. Also, it's much more resistant and reliable than the switches that are included usually as OEM with roadbook and trip masters. Here the three buttons are for sending forward the trip master, bringing back the kilometers, and changing screen and editing the screen. Here the thumb switch is to bring the roadbook forward or backwards. We have a MigTech electric roadbook holder. Inside the roadbook holder, we have also an LED light. So if we happen to ride at night, we will always have clear what's written on the roadbook. On top, we have an RNS trip master that has a sensor cable that goes all the way down to the wheel. We can bring this back and forward, so it's used by most riders in rallies, use the RNS trip master. On this second space, we left it empty, as here we can place a speedo cap, which now I'll show you. This is the speedo cap. This instrument, for those that don't know, is used mainly only in World Championship rallies and Africa Race and Dakar. So this goes here in position. Only riders that will use this bike to race where ERTF GPS is needed will use the ERTF speedo cap. So for this reason, we didn't place it on this particular rally bike build. Moving down, we have two switches. One is to power on the whole electricity for the nav instrument. So the nice thing is that if we don't switch it on, nothing is working. So if we carry our bike on trailers and something is touching anywhere, there will be no electricity and the battery of the bike won't discharge. So we power on the main power, which gives also power to these two USB ports. And inside here we have a voltmeter display, so we'll know how much current our battery is having as output. The second switch is for the LED lights. As in racing, we don't really need the bike to be street legal, even if this bike can be turned street legal by changing the lights and adding the turn indicators. Most races don't require this, so we prefer to have the lights turned off and just turn them on in case we need and we're getting late at night. These two switches have a particular feature because they have an internal LED, so we will always know if they're turned on or off, because if they're on, the LED will turn on. On the side of the nav tower, we have always the 6-way fuse box with LED error indicator. We can place up to 6 devices. In this case, we placed a unique wire to power all the nav instruments. The OEM dashboard stays in the same place and on the same bracket as OEM. This gives us the chance, when we are sitting on the bike, to see all the information from all the devices. We can see the trip master, the roadbook, and also the OEM dashboard to always keep track of the hours. And if we want, it will act as a second trip master, so we can maybe start a rally and put here, keep the total just to be sure we don't run out of fuel, and here adjust it and use it for the special stages. On the other side of the nav tower, in this case, we placed an hour meter, even though usually we place the Erie track bracket to place our gear or a tool bag, or the Erie track if needed in certain races. In this case, we didn't need the Erie track bracket, so we placed an hour meter to keep track of the hours this bike has. And at the moment, the hour meter is saying 41 hours, even though it has completely been rebuilt from scratch. On this particular nav tower from Rebel X Sports, we can adjust both the tilt inclination of the instrument to have a perfect viewing of the information and also the height, so we can bring it up or low. The fairing has quick release buckles, so we can remove it with no tools, and if we need to access any of the wiring or the nav tower, it will be very, very quick to do. But not everyone goes racing with this bike. Maybe you're an adventure rider and you're just looking to build your bike to have a longer range and have a better wind protection and have especially the GPS in a visible position, because here on the handlebar it makes you take too much down your head and not look at the road. So why the Rebel X Sports nav tower is the most versatile and complete nav tower currently available on the market? Because if we remove the roadbook holder, we'll place this bracket, which lets us mount either a RAM mount or a Garmin mount. So we can place our Montana or our 276 CX or even the Trailtech Voyager Pro in a very, very visible position, and we can use it for adventure riding, so not only for racing. The Rebel X nav tower is completely plug and play. You don't need to weld or drill anything on your frame. It's a patented product and it's been developed by professional Dakar racers. For this reason, the tower is just as wide enough to let you put all the wires nicely inside, so you don't see any wires sticking outside. Furthermore, the whole assembly is designed to keep the instruments as low as possible and as close as the handlebar as possible. This is for a particular reason. The closer your instruments are to the handlebar, the less weight you will feel riding. This nav tower has approximately weight of 2.5 kilograms, so not a lot, but if we compare it to other nav towers that maybe weigh less or have the same weight, the real issue is when you have your instrument and roadbook very high or very far away from the handlebars, be careful, because this will give you a pendulum effect when you're turning. So on this particular build, I can assure you that anyone that has ridden this bike hardly feels the weight of the instruments on the front end. Looking at the front of the tower, on the roadbook Tripmaster bracket, we have this place on top that not only adds protection to the instruments in case of crash, but here we can place GPS antennas and all the ERTF and ERITRAC compulsory equipment used at Dakar and Africa Race and World Championship rallies. On this lower part, we have another bracket where we can place GPS antennas if we need more space than the upper bracket, but most riders use it to put spare levers. You know, you can screw up completely a rally if you break your clutch lever at the beginning and you don't have a spare with you. And to put spare levers on you is pretty dangerous in case of crash. So this bracket was designed so that you can place all your spare front brake lever and clutch lever here on top, or maybe you can place the gear lever and the clutch lever here with zip ties, as the bracket has many holes, so you can place it easily. A small but really cool and stylish touch are these stainless steel plates with the Husqvarna logo, because thanks to these you'll be 5 kilometers an hour faster. Last but not least, the headlights. We have two 10 watt each LED lights, CNC machined but pretty light, and in this case we don't have any stone guard in front of them because the front end of these LED lights is removable, so we can replace the glass in case a rock ends on them and they get damaged. The headlight mask is designed this way so that it's gonna be always very easy to clean our lights in case we ride in mud or dust, but also so that we don't get any of that annoying reflection you get inside the screen that happens with other pairings and other lights. So the light will be always well diffused and it will never interfere with our riding. Clearly, also these LED lights are adjustable, so we can adjust, having two lights, we can adjust one lower to the ground and one more up, and have a perfect viewing also at night. That's all for today. I hope I've inspired you for your next adventure rally bike build, seeing all these accessories we did on this custom build. This bike is even for sale, so if anyone is interested, you can contact Rebel Exports. But even if you're interested in any of the accessories I showed, so the full front kit, the 2 fuel tanks, the Bashplate, you find the link in the description where you can see information about the rally kit and optionals. I've really enjoyed rebuilding this bike. Let me know in the comments below how you have built your bike, what accessories you like most. If you like the video, like it, share it, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, Rellisti!